Thank you so much.
Yes.
My name is TELIA MHONDA. I am founder and director of the Period Company. So we started in 2018, but our journey was mostly just selling the cups.
Right.
But when we started, talking to women about them, because you can't really sell a cup without having a discussion. Everybody then thinks of teacups and they think, oh my gosh, how is that going to fit? So once we started having discussions with women, we realized that we are suffering in silence with our periods. I mean, even in a setting like this, I would be ashamed to come and ask you for a pad if my period started right now. And I think that's one of the things that we are trying to dispel, is this shame that comes with our periods. There's nothing shameful about them. It's a natural and a beautiful part of our process as women, of giving life and as women. So, and then we decided to kind of change the business model and not just look at cups, but just look at periods as a whole. So we talk to young ones who haven't started their periods. You find that now there really isn't a platform where they are taught about their bodies and about their periods. So somebody would be starting their periods at age 8, because these days it's changed. I mean, in my time, we used to start our periods when you're in high school. But now an 8-year-old will start their period and they won't know what's happening to their bodies. They won't know how to even use a pad. So you find for us, it's right from that 8-year-old all the way up to 45 when you're talking about menopause. So what does that whole life cycle look like? And that's what we are about.
I'd like to bounce back to where you started. I want to know the inspiration behind actually starting. What have you seen? Is it coming from a personal space or something that you've seen?
Okay, so I struggled with my periods. I struggled a lot because they were so heavy. I would have days on end where I couldn't go to work because it would be that heavy. And I used to wonder, there must be a product out there that I can use which is better than a pad and better than a tampon, because sometimes I would need to change every hour because it was that bad. So when somebody told me about the cups, I researched them, I got the cup, and I kept it for about a month because I wasn't sure about using it. And I then realized that if I wanted to be able to sell this to someone else, I needed to be able to speak from that experience. And it really changed my cycle, because I was able to actually put in a full day of work. I was able to sleep the whole night without waking up. And once I started talking to women and explaining that to them, I actually found that a lot of women were suffering in that same silence. So one of the cornerstones of our outreach programs is shared experiences. What has worked for me and what you're going through, we might be different, but we share quite a lot of things when it comes to our periods. So somebody else might be having a heavy cycle, and I'm not the only one who's probably wakes up 4 or 5 times during the night to just go to change their pad. So I think for me that was the inspiration. And once I started speaking to women, it was so heartbreaking when you ask women their first time, when their first period came. I think the one lady said to me when her period started and she told her mom actually fell on the floor and she was crying, saying, oh gosh, now you're going to get pregnant, and she never really understood. So you find a lot of traumatic experiences with a lot of women from the first time they start their period. And I feel like it kind of sets the tone to our relationship with them. And I think if we understand them better, I think we might have a better period experience.
So true, so true. But I was speaking to Fadzi earlier, and she was like, there's so many benefits to actually starting using the cup. And because from my experiences, it's so heavy. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I can jump in on this boat.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, I think just tell me more about the benefits of actually using it.
A cup.
I know, like, yeah.
Okay.
Because I know I heard, okay, even the pain, it can actually...
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. For me, it was mostly the clots. I found that the clots were reduced. I don't know why. Or maybe it's just the fact that I wouldn't see them, because when you're wearing a pad, you see them and you just feel like it's chunks of yourself that's coming out. But first of all, it's the long hour day. When we go into some of these vulnerable communities, you find that, you know, young girls are breadwinners, so they have to spend a whole day selling something by the side of the road so that they can have food, and they can't afford a product where they have to actually change every hour. It hinders their business for that particular day. So we ran into a community where these girls were using sadza. And I promise you, it was, for me, it will always be the most heartbreaking, because I never thought I would experience that. But they use it to plug, so that they spend the whole day doing their business to ensure that they have food at home at the end of the day. So when you look at a cup, it's 8 to 12 hours. So you can actually have your whole work day, depending on your flow. But even me at my heaviest, I'll probably change it once during the day. So you find that for people who are heavy bleeders, the cup is such an advantage, because it will give you a bit of a longer lifespan in terms of how many times you empty it. And then secondly, there's no chemicals there. I mean, we don't need to talk about that. Like even tampons, if you leave it in too long, you know, there's the risk of toxic shock syndrome. But with the cup, there's no chemicals there. It's just silicone. So there is no adverse reaction that, you know, you're supposed to get. And it's also just very practical in terms of budget-wise. It's $5 for a cup that you will use for 5 years. And if you spend $1 on a packet of pads every month, that's 5 months. And, you know, if we calculate the whole year, that's $12 per year that you'll be, exactly, a whole $12. And you can use and you only need just the one cup.
Just the one.
Yeah, and it's good for the environment. It reduces period waste. I mean, we have to talk about sustainability. Yeah.
Saving water at the same time.
Exactly. Exactly.
I have a new best friend every month when Aunt Snow comes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what are you, like, what's your vision? Seeing that we're here with like a small group of women, but I would like to know your vision, even for the vision for your company as well, in terms of cups.
I think one of the things that we really want to push for is innovation in this space. Yes, we're bringing in cups, but it's an innovation that's, you know, maybe not as widely accepted in Zimbabwe from a cultural perspective, because people assume that it breaks your virginity, which it doesn't. And that's a big barrier in terms of getting people to uptake. So one of the things that we want to do is really learn to innovate for us as Africans. What is a product that we can create or build that, you know, we can all feel comfortable using, but is also practical. And then I think ideally we want, you know, a place where all our public toilets have sanitary products.
So true.
You know, I mean, if condoms are in every bathroom, I don't see why we cannot have sanitary pads, tampons in every bathroom, because sometimes our cycles are very unpredictable. So it will start while you're in the middle of a workshop, and you'll go to the bathroom and you can't even ask anyone else. So we want to be able to lobby for that. If condoms are free, why can't we make our pads for free?
That is true, and that is such a powerful note right there. And I'd really love to thank you and congratulate you on doing such a good job.
Thank you. We are trying.
That's a great job, actually.
Thank you.
So,
we are trying. We're trying.
Thank you so much.
And I think on the last note, I would like for people to remember that our periods are beautiful. They are not something to be ashamed of.
Yes.
So when somebody goes into the shops to buy their pads or their tampons, they should hold their head up high instead of hiding it behind the other groceries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Powerful thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.